What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out Race to the Sea by Sabaton. I got a few comments mentioning I should check this one out. It's about Belgium, I believe is what the comments were saying. So this should be a doozy. Interestingly enough, because I always bring up both the music and the Sabaton History. The Sabaton History portion actually got age restricted, which is the first time I've seen that happen with a Sabaton song. So this should be interesting to see on why it got like that. Should be fun to check out. Links are down below, as always. Make sure you guys go and check them out. And yeah, let's jump in. That was a cool intro to the video. Oh, bro, the soulless eye staring back at me is crazy. Dude, this shit sounds dope as fuck so far. Like, this is definitely a fucking vibe, and I love it. I love the... I mean, we all know how much... I have yet to find a Sabaton song I dislike. I really, really, really like the cadence that they went with for this song. Or tempo, maybe? I don't know exactly what to call it. But I really enjoy, like, how they're singing it. The tempo... It's gotta be cadence, right? Either way, I'm really enjoying it. The flow. I love that. That was a nice, I don't know, bar? Sorry, I'm kind of out of it today. There's a price paid by Belgium's sons. They may take our towns, they may conquer our ground. We'll defend the nation and the crown. We'll uphold our independence with our guns. As an American, that shit speaks to my fucking soul, and I love it. And then, honestly, see King and a soldier fighting shoulder to shoulder. Dope line, but for King and Cunt, like, this whole portion sounds dope. We haven't got to the shoulder-to-shoulder part. Ooh. Epic solo time. This has got to be a reference to something that I'm sure they'll go over in the history section. Ooh, I like the slowdown. Dude, this is a good song. And it's I can't wait to hear the history behind it all. And I know I haven't mentioned it. This is a pretty cool fucking music video too. Like being in the water, like it looks epic. This is the kind of shit that I would this is what I imagine anytime I like played in like puddles in the rain or like the pool doing cool shit, pretending I'm doing cool shit. This is what I imagine I looked like when I was a kid. I'll be honest, that fucking the last line, like no more of our country lost, the line will be held at all cost. I don't know why. I like it. Oh, like such a good song. I really like. Not a surprise though. I always end up liking their shit. All right, we're gonna hop straight into the history section. And yeah, guys should stick around for it. It's always a fun time.
Hello everyone, I'm Joachim from Sabaton.
And I'm Indy Nidell.
And today we're talking about the race to the sea here on Sabaton History.
On Sabaton History.
I already said that.
I said it again. It deserves to be repeated. September 1914, the Western Front. The giant armies of the Entente and the German Reich are locked in a desperate struggle of survival, only 6 weeks after the Great War began. People don't realize how deadly the opening battles of the war, when it was a war of movement, actually were. On August 22nd, for example, the French had 27,000 men killed.
Yep, we heard about that in
killed. For the
Sarajevo,
entire rest of the war, that would remain the highest single-day death toll any nation took of the whole war. But the initial plans of both sides soon failed, and the beginning of a deadly stalemate set in, and both sides looked north, trying to find the last open gaps in the line. Whoever got there first, whoever put enough weight behind their punches to outflank the other side, might still gain quick victory. This was the race to the sea.
Oh, now the name makes sense.
On which the fate of our country depends, and it is important to remind all ranks that the moment has passed for looking to the rear. All our efforts must be directed to attacking and driving back the enemy. Troops that can advance no further must, at any price, hold on to the ground they have conquered and die on the spot rather than give way. Under the circumstances which face us, no act of weakness can be tolerated. On September 4th, 1914, the German advance into France changed its axis. The First Army under Alexander von Kluck began wheeling around in a wide swing southwest as part of the Germans' Schlieffen Plan. Sensing an opportunity, the French Sixth Army made a move towards von Kluck's now exposed flank. The First Army turned to face the French advance, but in doing so, they created a gap of 50 kilometers.
I was about to say, in doing so, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, you can't just let them go back and flank you, but in doing so, you're leaving a fucking gap in your forces.
Between them and the German Second Army on their left. The French Fifth Army and the British Expeditionary Force threw themselves in for a counterattack into this gap. What followed was one of the most decisive engagements of the Great War, perhaps the decisive one.
Sounds
German
familiar.
High Command had to either continue the advance and risk being outflanked and enveloped, or stop and withdraw in the hopes of straightening the line. They chose the latter. On the 9th, for fear of losing the war to the Allied counterattack, they ordered the northern wing to halt and fall back. The Battle of the Marne, as it would be remembered, was a major strategic triumph that had prevented the Germans from driving to Paris. The German First and Second Armies were forced back behind the River Aisne and dug in on the heights of Chemin-des-Dames. In hot pursuit, the French Sixth and Fifth Armies hoped to capitalize on their victory, but the troops were exhausted and ammunition was low. And when they arrived at the Battle of the Aisne, they were facing a line of German trenches on the heights with artillery support. No chance to break through. On September 14th, the Allied armies as well dug in. Why dig in? Well, machine guns and modern artillery had changed the face of war. You simply could not survive being exposed. And a man in a hole in the ground, well, you can't shoot him, and you can only bomb him with direct hits. For all the horrors of trench warfare, it was still way less deadly than mobile warfare and way harder to overcome. Anyhow, Paris did not fall as envisioned, but the German attacks had succeeded enough that the German army now stood deep inside French and Belgian territory. Looking at the map, a static line of defenses emerged on the Western Front, from the forts of Verdun all the way to the south down to the Swiss border. But in the north, between the Channel ports and the River Aisne, there was still room to maneuver. If the Germans were fast enough and strong enough, they might still be able to turn the French flank. If not, they at least might still capture the important ports of Dunkirk, Zeebrugge, and Calais, and the vital railway between Hazebrouck and Roulers. The French, of course, realized what was about to happen, and they had not only saved themselves at the Marne, there was now a chance for them to turn the tables. If the French army concentrated enough force to the north, the whole German offensive might collapse like a house of cards. What then began was the race to the sea. Now, the name Race to the Sea is one of the most misleading that I know of in military history. No one was really interested in reaching the North Sea. In fact, both sides needed to execute a swing well before that. Consequently, the commanders pressed all available reserves into the move northwards. The German 4th and 6th armies were pointed north.
Well, I mean, you say it's misleading, but it makes sense. It's race to the sea in the sense of you're racing towards the sea northward. And, I mean, I don't know. Yes, it kind of it is, but is it misleading, at least to me? They may not necessarily be trying to get to the sea itself, but that's the direction it is, and a lot of important objectives are up that way. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Northwards, to advance without regard for casualties, and the French organized army group north of the 2nd and 10th armies with the mantra, attack, attack, attack. Time was of the essence. On September 17th, German 6th Army began moving north, yet as they tried to circle around to the west, the French were already there to meet them. Intercepted radio traffic had alarmed French High Command, who were committing 3 corps to match the German advance. What followed was the indecisive Battle of Fleury on September 20th, ending in the Germans creating the Saint-Michel salient. It was the first of a series of bloody engagements as the armies shuffled northwards. It really resembled a boxing match, right? With each side throwing wide hooks, hoping to exhaust their
See, look, I could see where the term race to the sea came
opponent
from.
with the next swing. Troops pushed forwards as fast as they could. Eventually, they clashed with the forward forces of their enemy, and a series of encounter battles were fought on the move. Then both sides dug in, holding out until reinforcements arrived, and then the whole cycle would repeat itself once more, to the north, ever to the north.
Now the war has come and the battle's begun. We are desperate to know the road. To the war drum we'll be marching till it's done. Lead the way, we will follow into the fray. We will hold the line, we will not be led astray.
Between September
Still,
25th
the song's out
and
so
October
good
4th,
still.
the Battle of Picardy was fought. The French Sixth Army fought with the German First Army northwest of Compiègne. But by now, both sides really felt the loss of their assault divisions. The first month of the war had cost them hundreds of thousands of casualties, foremost among them the well-trained professionals. Now the fight was carried more and more by half-trained wartime volunteers. Young men swept away with their enthusiasm were thrown into the jaws of artillery.
I always get kind of like saddened anytime I see a picture like this because it's just like it really hammers home just how young
And machine
everyone
guns.
was.
They could simply not execute the tactical maneuvers of fire and movement that had been drilled into the professionals. Yet their commanders spent their lives all the same. The
course they
Battle of
did.
Albert was fought from the 25th to the 29th of September.
commanders are
as
life
the
is a
German
life.
Sixth Army continued to move towards Amiens. Hopes were high of crossing the Somme fast enough to envelop the French left flank. But once more, the French were onto them. Their Second Army prevented a major turn just in time, stopping the Bavarians from achieving a breakthrough. By the end of September, both sides had really reached their physical limits. The weather turned bad. The supply situation was just horrendous. Men were marching 30 or 35 kilometers each day, often on empty stomachs, and they were still expected to fight. It was pure chaos, and the heavy cloud cover prevented any recon planes from taking off. The only way of scouting ahead was with cavalry, and smaller screening forces constantly clashed along the routes and rivers, trying to deny each other the room to maneuver. The Battle of La Bassée, beginning October 15th, was the final attempt for a decisive swing. As the German Sixth Army successfully pushed into Lille, they began to threaten the British Expeditionary Force at Ypres. If they were outflanked, they might lose their ports at the coast. In a preemptive strike, the British advanced into Armentières and prepared for a stand at the River Lys. Fighting fiercely in heavy fog, the British were able to defend the crossings and approaches from being exploited by German cavalry. The timely arrival of the Indian Corps helped them to hold out until the Germans exhausted themselves. They might have fielded the largest army in their history so far, yet they could not funnel in troops forever. By November,
it's
they
not a
had
viable
conceded.
strategy.
German high command put a stop to the major advances as the last gaps on the map were being closed. The constant attacks northwards had failed in forcing the decisive battle. Ypres was out of reach. Their forces were exhausted, ammunition and shells at their limit, casualties were enormous. Each attempt was quickly foiled by entrenched machine guns and artillery, and the Belgians had flooded the Yser Canal. The Germans had lost the race to the sea.
God, that looks
The
insane.
Entente and the Belgians had dashed the German hopes of continuing the Schlieffen Plan and executing a major envelopment of the French left wing. They had successfully established a continuous defensive line from the Belgian coast to the Swiss border, but they had also failed to capitalize on the momentum gained by the victory at the Marne and decisively overtake the Germans in the north. In this, they too had lost the race to the sea. As
So
the
no
days
winners.
grew colder and the weather
Not-
worsened, both sides
not a
continued to
surprise.
dig in. Ypres was still under threat and would be for the rest of the year, but the end of the race to the sea had ushered in a new phase of the Great War, trench warfare. Troops went from improvised fighting holes and improvised trenches to ever more sophisticated trench lines and mazes of barbed wire and machine guns. Cooler heads might have looked at the situation and realized the deadlock they were now in, but neither the Entente nor the Germans were making a move to call an end to the fighting. Instead, they put their hopes into gathering some strength over the winter. The decisive battle would surely be fought in 1915.
I love the little "we're free" that he adds in at the end of some of them.
So, before we get started,
Yep.
nice shirt, man.
You like Melodica?
Oh my god, it does say Melodica.
This is not a Metallica shirt. I don't know if any...
No, I legit just thought that was Metallica. Oh, that
You guys
kind
know
of
this
threw
is
me
a
off. That's
Melodica
crazy.
shirt. Do you know,
I didn't know.
It's not like that Metallica, the merch guy, is dyslexic or dyslexic and made a Melodica shirt. No, me and my fiance Emily we were watching 2.5 Men, you know, with Charlie Sheen and stuff. And in season 1, there's an episode when Berta, the housekeeper, her daughter, who lived like a trailer park girl, she comes in one of the episodes and she's wearing a baseball rock concert shirt that says Melodica on it. And Emily looks at me and she goes, "You have to be able to get those online." So we went online, and you can. We ordered 2 matching Melodica shirts. She's got one too. It's a shame that she's not here right now. Otherwise,
That's actually kind of insane that you're able to actually buy them. Like, I could see it for a TV show. The TV show makes sense. This, though, this seems like you could be getting really close to, God, what would you call it? Trademark infringement of their logo, especially with like the M and whatnot. Unless it was changed just enough.
Come on and wear her matching Melodica shirt. And so I don't know. It's pretty cool, right? They got the logo right, didn't they? So I don't remember where they ordered it from, but I'm sure you could Google it. Wait, is there
Amazon,
I've seen that episode,
Etsy?
I didn't notice.
You can find it anywhere.
What would you didn't notice that?
No.
You thought it was a Metallica shirt.
I've seen all of the 2.5 Men.
Yeah. But what would a Sabaton shirt like this say?
Oh, it's a good one.
Sabaton.
I've seen the one
with
where they added the extra B, so it becomes Sabaton.
Okay.
Sabaton, I've seen.
Sabaton. That's not as funny as Melodica.
No.
But it's something. I mean, it'd have to. Okay, in the comments, let us know how we could Melodica-ize Sabaton's products, and then we can make a lot of money
with our own parody merch.
You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, we'll make our own parody merch. Let's see, Sabaton. I mean, if you want to go like religious angle, you could do like Sabbath on, and then like little text down below, Sunday, Sabbath on, like the Sabbath. I don't know. Only one I think of next is the water park in Amarillo, Texas. I want to say is where it's at. Schlieffen, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't know. My dad mentioned it because he used to go there as a kid. Just with their S. That's just where my mind went to, but that's already a trademark / place, so I don't know.
We should actually find out which one is the best and make a T-shirt, one for each member of the band, for you and the person who comes up with it.
That's a great idea. Yeah, you get a special merch.
Yeah.
What a great idea. Okay, let us know in the comments. And now, back to the race to the sea.
I'm sorry. I just love the idea of a band making their own parody merch.
Okay.
Which, just love the idea of that.
Briefly in the episode, is actually an incredible misnomer, because the last thing anybody wanted to do was reach the sea.
Let's finish the other guy off before we reach the sea.
It should be the race to finish the other guy off before we reach the sea. Oh no, we've reached the sea.
I mean, my question is, I wonder what would have happened if this could have worked. If Germany had like a diversionary attack, like where they did it first, but then bring another, like, another group up a lot higher, like near the sea to encircle them, because it looks like they kept racing back and forth between them. But if during one of the engagements that they were having, you had another one going all the way around to start the encirclement. I wonder how that would have gone.
Is this the sea? Maybe it should be called the Shit Is This the Sea episode. Okay, change this episode to Shit. Are we at the sea already? Damn.
Damn.
4 years of trench warfare. Now, whose idea was this song?
This was me, actually, which was really a tricky thing with being a songwriter is, you know, having done this for 20 years now, or even more. But this is the 10th album. And to sit there and do something that is sort of very stereotypical Sabaton. This song is very Sabaton in its sound, you know.
Oh, it
in
is
every
very,
element
and
of
I love it.
And to do something really Sabaton, not working with someone else, after 10 albums, it's tricky to find that new idea.
Yeah,
And do not
sure.
copy yourself too much. Of course, I mean, as a songwriter, we all have our own styles, and we are gonna borrow stuff from ourselves or be, you know, have our own way of twisting.
Yes, you can. Something I mean, you can really tell with anyone. If you look at any singular artist who actually writes their own stuff, or even fuck, you could look at very specific songwriters for like pop stars and whatnot. They all have a very specific way that they write, and you can tell. Sabaton has it, Disturbed has it. If you're more into rap, Kendrick Lamar really has it as well. Like, you can really tell the way songwriters write.
Melodies together and stuff makes it instantly recognizable. But this one, I was really proud of it actually, because I think both the story and the music is speaking in the same emotional language. And I mean, to be honest, what I found most inspiring about it is King Albert, the story around him and his family, you know. And to be able, I mean, I might have copied myself or borrowed a few things, but it feels like something new. And I'm so fucking happy I could still write a song that still sounds like Sabaton, that isn't only a carbon copy of something, you know, you've done before.
Okay, when we're recording,
Cool.
recording this in February, I've heard the new.
That must be a really cool feeling. Because, I mean, like he said, he's like, I'm so happy that I'm able to actually write a song that sounds so much like Sabaton still. Without, like, yeah, that must be a great feeling. Like, hell yeah, I still got it.
Right? But I don't know all the songs well. And I've heard Unkillable Soldier a bunch of times.
Same for me.
But so I can't actually venture opinions on the construction of the song. But from The Great War, for example, you guys did a good job of having still Sabaton, but something new. Like when we were talking about the Red Baron, you were talking, you know, the drum beat on the Red Baron and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the shuffle.
Yeah, the shuffle on that, and that was cool. And I'm like, see, that's something different. And my favorite Sabaton song right now, since the live show at Novi Sad last year, it's probably going to change the next time I see you live, because it changes every time I see you live, was Attack of the Dead Men. And that's something that's
a good song.
And again, basically, the 100 men
it's
die
like
again, die again. I mean, that's fucking
broken
genius.
record on repeat.
But that's what I like.
Almost.
So I'm looking forward, is what I'm saying. Looking forward to going through this album, like going through the Great War album. So I mean, they're still coming up with new stuff.
Yeah.
You know. So, and I like, if you think you're really coming up with something new, then probably
there are other songs that are more experimental and very much more different than this.
Yeah.
But
there's a few.
It's more of a case where I'm really proud that I managed to something that's really super Sabaton, and I didn't nick it from, you know, that song or that song.
Okay.
I probably stole it from all the songs.
Making a quintessential Sabaton song. Still being able to do it.
I guess, but
after 100 songs.
Yes. No, but it's, I mean, really a tricky thing to go into a new album, writing it, because instantly as a songwriter, you're sitting there and you are starting a new song, let's say with a piano or a guitar or whatever, and you have this demo, bad sounding pre-production piece of music, and you're comparing that to a best of.
Oh, sure.
10 albums worth of material.
Yeah.
So it's a really unfair comparison in a way. So
really is.
But this was one of the songs that made me feel like, you know what? There's something in there. I can still do this shit. You know.
Huh? Now,
I love that. I can still do this shit.
I'm gonna take us back to King Albert.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Belgium was neutral, of course, and the violation of Belgian neutrality was the reason Britain went to war. Although they kind of have to go to war anyway, because in a war between Germany, forget about Russia and everybody for the moment. In a war between Germany and France, one of them would win, and that one would be the dominant one on the European continent, and that would upset the balance of power for Britain. So they're going to go to war with someone or another, and it's great that, you know, it's not great that it was the violation of Belgian neutrality, but Belgium, you know, never joined the Allies. Belgium was neutral still till the end of the war. They never became an allied nation. I know that people, you know, say, well, what's the difference? There is a difference. There's a huge difference. You being a Swede being a difference. If you're neutral, you might have people that guarantee your neutrality and stuff, but people don't realize you don't have allies. Like when we talked about the Winter War, right? Swedes, in a huge majority, wanted to join the Finns fighting the Soviet Union in the Winter War. But Sweden did not do that because if Sweden officially sent any soldiers, officially, there were plenty of volunteers that wanted to, if Sweden officially sent any soldiers to fight, then Sweden would be at war with the Soviet Union, and Sweden does not have any allies. And what do you think that would mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I was about to say kind of like how there's a, we just didn't want to start another huge, honestly, probably another world war. So it like, think about Ukraine, how there were videos, I think there still are, just so much, so many volunteers from all over the world, different, just, you know, different, God, what would you call it? Different volunteers from everywhere. And like, yeah, we'll officially send help to them, like pledge munitions, but we cannot have our own soldiers in there.
So people don't quite realize that. France and Britain and stuff, they were.
I don't think it's really comparable, but that's just where my mind went
if
to.
Sweden had declared war.
No.
So I know people, but I mean, I'm just people don't quite understand the perils of neutrality. It has its good sides and its bad sides. It's not just, oh, we're not interested.
I mean, in a sense, geography plays a whole lot into it as well. I mean, Belgium being in a place where they happen to be on the way to the destination.
Yeah. But they're on the way to the destination, so we're going to send 3.5 million soldiers in there on the way. You don't mind if we use the roads? You do? Okay, screw you. Fine, we're going to use that. But
God, it's like fucking, what's the joke with Poland? They're the fucking speed bump to the rest of fucking Europe.
Having said that, even as late as October 1918, the Kaiser and Hindenburg and Ludendorff were saying that any peace must allow for the continued German occupation of Belgium. That Belgium would not sign. This is a month before the actual armistice.
I had no idea.
A month before the armistice, when it was pretty obvious that, the Ottomans were out, Bulgaria was out. There's only Austria and Germany, last man standing for the Central Powers. They're saying, no. We'll consider an armistice, but we have to keep Belgium, which would keep the entire Channel coast pretty much on the other side. And the French,
that's insane.
Okay, we don't really care that much. The British were like, no, go back to the part about Belgium.
Thought, because I didn't know that. That's, God, if I were Belgium, I'd be kind of pissed at France. Just like, because the way he's saying it, he's saying France would be like, we're basically like, yeah, sure, don't really care about Belgium. We just want this war to end. And Britain only cared because they didn't want Germany to still have that much, be that big. Like, that's, our Belgium might be kind of pissed, be like, yo, France, what the fuck?
And I think King Albert was pretty opposed to that.
I would fucking hope so.
I suppose the people in the Congo wouldn't have cared one way or another because they didn't have a good history with the Belgian government, which is an episode for another time.
That's the father.
I know, but it's still an episode. Okay, well, okay. If let's say I'm an oppressed colonial territory, right? And your father has murdered millions of my people. I'm not going to be inclined to like you.
True.
Okay?
I
think we all learned something today.
Fair fucking point.
About, look at the big picture. Because remember, history does not happen in a vacuum.
It's deep, man.
I know.
I like that. I like that saying. That's probably one I'll keep that in the back of my head for a while. I like that. History does not happen in a vacuum. I really like that.
I said it on the World War II channel, Time Goes channel too, because whenever people write like, FDR, he knew about World War II. He knew about World War II. Okay, everybody knew about World War II, but he knew about the Japanese plans. I'm like, all of these things. History doesn't happen in a vacuum. You can't just say this thing happened, so that's bad. Why? Where? How did it happen? And where can you learn about a lot of these historical things?
Discovery Channel.
I was going to say Sabaton History, but yours is good too. Okay, well, that's it for us today.
I mean, really, I don't necessarily think Discovery Channel really does stuff like this. And God knows the History Channel has moved away from fucking history nowadays. There's a reason why everything, if I watch history, it's all on fucking
From
YouTube
the Discovery
now.
Channel.
Yay!
Insert Discovery Channel logo here, discreetly.
Yeah, the old
Smaller.
logo when they were actually showing relevant material.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
Thank you.
We're going to hell. Getting sued, going to hell. Cool. All right.
Thank you for bringing that
Get
up.
started about the History Channel.
Because that is true. Oh, see, look, even he brought up the History Channel.
All right,
Should we get started about the History Channel?
See, even he brought it up because goddamn, the History Channel fucked off.
All right, everyone.
God, I'd love that ending. That ending sounds so nice. A good song. And again, I love the history sections. Hope you guys do as well. Go check out the originals. They're linked below. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out another one of my videos. I'm sure you'll find something on there that you enjoy. And until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.